Welcome to Burning Bright, a weekly podcast presenting poetry and prose from Passenger. In 1961, a couple youngish comedians named Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks performed a sketch on Ed Sullivan's show. Reiner was the interviewer, Brooks was the 2,000-year-old man that he was interviewing. They weren't brand new to comedy even then. They'd both been writers for Sid Caesar's 1950s TV series. And Mel Brooks wasn't 2,000 years old then, but he is 100 years old this week. He was born June 28, 1926, and over the course of his career, he's written some of the funniest and most outrageous movies in American film history. The Producers, Young Frankenstein, High Anxiety, Robin Hood, Men in Tights, Blazing Saddles, Spaceballs, History of the World Part 1. The most famous line from George Lucas's film Star Wars was, "May the Force be with you." In his Star Wars parody Spaceballs, Mel Brooks, as the wise mystic Yogurt, says, "And may the Schwartz be with you." Passenger writer Joe Miles also played off that Star Wars line. Here's her poem, "May the Fork be with you." Life lifts its fork. I chose to eat my fill, gobble down the sweetest bits, twirl my tongue around the most spirited elixirs, chew up all the flesh left on my plate, the fatty parts, the gristle, bloody meat raw as a skinned knee. I devoured the piquancy of life, the sour cherries, the bitter herbs, the sugar cubes that dissolved slowly under my tongue. I have had cool watermelon dreams and the hot, daring dreams of travelers. Beans and rice and steamy peppers, unleavened bread. I devoured the sun in a pudding, the cheese off the moon. The fish from the sea swim willingly into my waiting arms. Ah, fork, if I am ever impaled on your tines, all is forgiven, for I am satisfied. I am free. I am full. May the Fork be with you, Joe Miles, from Passenger, issue 75. In, I think it was 1991, Kevin Costner played Robin Hood in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. 2 years later, Mel Brooks parodied that film in Robin Hood, Men in Tights. He wrote this line for Cary Elwes, who played Robin Hood.
"Unlike some other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent."
In Passenger's 2023 special trauma issue, we published a story by Richard Moore, also known as Trevor Huddlestone. He lives in Nottingham, England, where Robin Hood hung out, and who, I suspect, does speak with an English accent. Here's an excerpt from Richard's story, The Facts of Great Uncle Wilfred. Great Uncle Wilfred refused to buy any new clothes, or anything new at all for that matter. This was probably because he believed he was going to die at any moment, as he'd gone way past his allotted lifespan of 70, and therefore there was no point in buying anything new. Instead, he took to wearing old clothes passed down from other family members, and which he kept in an old trunk in the attic. Once he was sitting at the table in the red jacket with gold buttons and white belt of an old Sherwood Forester's uniform. On his head was the black helmet with its large golden Maltese cross badge and spike on top. The brightness of that uniform glaring in the middle of that dingy, dusty room startled and frightened me like the arrival of imperial warships appearing off the coast of a pristine and native island. Even more terrifying was when he sat there in a white Victorian wedding dress that had belonged to some great aunt of his who'd been jilted at the altar. He was a tall man, and the dress barely came to below his knees. A pair of black bobby socks stretched from beneath the dress to his leather slippers, whose soles were coming away, so that when he walked, they slapped against the carpet or even louder against the kitchen tiles. It was while wearing this grotesque outfit that he told me a couple of his facts that petrified my impressionable 7-year-old brain. An excerpt from Richard Moore's story, The Facts of Great Uncle Wilfred. In his 1981 film History of the World Part 1, Mel Brooks, as Moses holding 3 stone tablets, says,
"The Lord Jehovah has given unto you these 15.
And then he drops one and continues,
10 commandments."
The 2016 passenger poet Maryhelen Snyder wrote a poem that's not quite about the 10 Commandments, but it's about the next best thing, the 7 deadly sins. Here's her poem, The Deadly 7. And what if they were deadly virtues, these so-called sins of sloth, greed, lust, etc.? We would watch with envy the infant mouth, breathless with hunger, gasp, grasp the dripping nipple, the warm font, and drink with all its muscle. We would know there is no foreplay needed to excite desire. And the swollen breast craves the hungry mouth with equal longing. What if the rights to life, liberty, and boundless joy were birthrights, as we said, demanding that we disobey any authority but our own souls? We would invite our sloth, eating the apple as we lie in an open field, with nothing to be done until its doing draws us. As earth draws light, we'd loll and wait. But not for long. Burning, trembling in neuronal fire, watch how the child, facing 6 brightly colored rings in graduated sizes, is eager beyond all stilling to place them in order on their towering peg. Nor is pride in self, but in self's triumphs. And if some fool dare dismantle this, bless anger too, her rage against the thwarting of the light. Nor can we outage lust. Were Christ to come again in David's body, we would bow down gladly to flesh and sinew. What is not deadly that is this alive? From Passenger, Issue 61, The Deadly 7, by Maryhelen Snyder. On this episode of Burning Bright, we've been celebrating Mel Brooks' 100th birthday. To subscribe to, donate to, or learn more about Passenger and its commitment to older writers, visit PassengerBooks.com. Passenger offers a 25% discount on the books and journal issues featured here on Burning Bright. Visit our website to see what's on sale this week. For Christine, Roseanne, Mary, Asher, and the rest of the Passenger staff, I'm John Shore. And may the Schwartz be with you.